Okay, people, let's talk about some speed picking. I mentioned this in my previous video, and somebody wrote a comment that he really would like me to do a video about my speed picking. Now, just want to say ahead that I'm not the greatest and the speediest speed picker of all time, but I think my chops are quite decent. So I'm just going to share what I use to get my right hand up to game and just the experiences that I made with speed picking. And just to be really clear, when I talk about speed picking, for me, it's about alternate picking. I'm not an economy picking guy or a sweep picker. I can do some of that, but I've never invested a lot of time in economy picking. The other technique when I want to play speedy stuff and my alternate picking is just not helping out. I do hybrid picking. I really love to do hybrid picking, and that's something, if you want me to, I can do a video on my hybrid picking approach. Okay, so let's go. My favorite pattern for speed picking to get warmed up, it goes like this. And this pattern can be extended, and you can do it with other scales. Palm muting, without palm muting, all kinds of variations. What basically is happening, you're playing part of a scale. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 different notes played in 16th triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm starting off on the G string. It's my first note with a downstroke, and immediately changing to the D string with the next upstroke. So that's the first challenge, and that's what this exercise is about. You have to make a pick slant. By the way, watch Troy Grady, all about pick slants and how to turn your wrist. That's very important if you want to get, maybe you're stuck at a certain tempo. That's my story. Like, I was stuck at 150-ish BPM, and I'm talking about 16th notes, not triplets, just 16th notes. And I just couldn't get any faster, no matter how hard I practiced. And then I watched the Troy Grady stuff, and it was really a breakthrough moment for me. That was I don't know, when his videos came out, I guess like 10 years ago or something. So just really fast, that pick slanting stuff is about when playing on one string. Alternate picking is no problem, right? Because you can just go. Oh, sorry. Something like that. You just go tremolo style and just go as fast as you can. The real challenge happens with alternate picking when you're changing strings. That's exactly what you're doing here in this little. Just the very first moment is already the change to the next string. So that's why you want to angle your wrist and make it open towards this direction, right? Like this. And so I'm going to exaggerate. And the next motion, already you're twisting your wrist in exactly the opposite motion, so you get this kind of twist. Like that. Now right here, last note, I'm moving my wrist towards this direction. So now, whap. Get it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open, open, open. I guess that second one is not that important, but the first wrist motion and the last wrist motion are really the important ones. See, this one and this one, because that's where the string changes happen, right? And I'm gonna exaggerate this, like, maybe you can see it better from this angle. And this does two things. The first one, it's just mechanically, it opens up your hand, so you can let your pick fall to the next string, like this. And right here, it opens up, so now you can let your pick fall to the next string. That's the pick slanting stuff that Troy Grady kind of discovered and made it to a scientific approach almost to study that with all his little cameras and just interviewing, like, I don't know how many different people. And that's what he found out. And there's another thing that this wrist motion does, and I think it relaxes. If you're always doing like this kind of straight motion with your wrist, just in this direction all the time, it really does help to once in a while just give it that little twist, and it will give your wrist just a brief moment of relaxation, and that just helps out with your endurance and with your stamina when playing longer licks. So you can play this lick like I just do that to warm up. Start with lower tempos. You don't even need a metronome or a beat. You can just And the cool thing about this little pattern is now you can also turn it around. Now you can take this pattern and say, okay, now I can play it good with starting with a downstroke. Now I'm going to start with an upstroke. And now you have to think exact opposite. So now you want to angle your hand in this direction with the first one, and in that direction for the last note. Right? Don't forget to have fun. The second, what comes to mind, what I should mention is, and that's something that I kind of did wrong when I started out and I wanted to get fast. I kind of made it a struggle. Like I took a metronome and I had this goal to play a certain thing at, let's say, 180 BPM. And, I said to myself, like, I have to make it in 4 weeks. I'm going to practice 2 hours every day, just that one little thing. It stopped being fun. It became tedious, and it didn't help at all. Like, I didn't reach my goal. I wasn't able to play it, and I was just struggling. And that's something I think you shouldn't do when you practice something like this. You should do the exact opposite. That's what I learned. You should not make it a struggle, but make it as easy. So always keep it as loose and relaxed as possible. Of course, there's a certain amount of tension or energy, I should rather say. Like there's a kind of, I'm just going to call it heat that builds up in your hand. Like you can't get rid of that because that's just like the physical friction, I guess, of just your hand moving, and that's the endurance you just have to build up. But at the same time, you can keep an active relaxation. So it's kind of the same attitude when you go take a walk. When you go take a walk and you're in a beautiful place, have a beautiful outlook, or you're in a nice forest. What's going to happen? You're probably going to relax, although you're taking a walk, although you're moving. And that's kind of the same thought you want to take. We're moving, and we can move fast, but we want to we want this movement to be the thing that relaxes us. And that's kind of a key thing to get the speed. So this pick slanting thing, we can now apply it on other patterns, like let's say the too many notes thing by Steve Morse. Let's take that first pattern. That's that thing right now. He's playing it down here. And how's it? I forgot how it keeps going, but that's a lot more difficult than this pattern. But same thing. It's 16 triplets, and we can do it at the exact same speed. Well, almost, I would say. And I don't know if you can tell, but already now, while I'm just doing this video, I'm just keeping playing and doing this stuff, I'm getting more warm. I'm getting also more looseness and less tension in my hand, and I'm able to play faster and more clean. So yeah, try to take little patterns like that. You don't have to learn the entire song. Just really, you can benefit a whole lot from just 4 notes like that. Just play them really easy. Try to find out what you wanna, what your picking is, and where your pick slants happen. Same thing here. Here's a lot more pick slant happening. And by the way, there's no shame or there's no downside in including for one legato technique. Like, let's say I'm gonna take this A minor shape. Now I'm gonna do the first one with a pull off, and then I'm gonna switch to not doing a pull off, and I want you to see if you can even hear the difference. No pull off, pull off, no pull off, pull off. I'm just gonna keep switching between those two to see if you can tell the difference. And if you don't believe me, I mean, go and make that video in slow motion. But I really did switch between those two. Maybe you could hear a difference. Me as a player, I couldn't hear it. I could not tell the difference. Yeah, just as a side note, you know, guitar playing is already difficult enough. Little things like that make it a lot easier, and at a certain point you have to wonder, like, why not put a pull off in there? It just makes it so much easier, and it doesn't make a difference. But just as a side note. Okay, let's keep going. What else? There's 2 more things I guess I should mention. So one thing to practice with when getting into higher speed territories, like let's go back to that Yngwie Malmsteen Arpeggios from Hell thing that I was talking about in the previous video, and there's this run. That's the scale, right? E minor, harmonic, something scale. Yngwie's playing that song, I think it's 180 BPM. Put it in the comments if you know better. But if I can remember right, it's 180 BPM. So what you can do, you can go on YouTube and type in speed ramp BPM, and you're gonna get this thing right here. I've got it prepared. Alright, so it's a video on YouTube where it starts off with 96 BPM. I'm at 98 BPM right now. Oh, I was way too fast. And this is gonna get progressively faster and faster. I don't know how many times. The thing now is how to practice with this is you start slow and just let that video go. And I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna play that lick just again and again, and I don't even want to know what tempo I'm at. That's the key thing. I'm just gonna listen. I'm just gonna have fun and play that thing, and we'll see if I can make that to 200 BPM. Because if I do, I'm even faster than Yngwie Malmsteen. Wow. Now I'm gonna try to play and stay as relaxed as I can. And obviously beforehand you do have to check out all the little pick slants and stuff like that. And again, I don't even want to know what tempo it is. That's not what I'm concentrating on. I'm focusing on being relaxed and just doing my scale, having fun. And once in a while, I can kind of loosen it up. And we do something like that to get back into that groove, into that 16th groove. I noticed a little bit of tension here in my right hand. I want to focus on not having that. Just keep it loose. Keep it loose, Rio. You know, sometimes the tension is not in your right hand. Sometimes the tension is in your neck. Sometimes the tension is in your jaw. It can be any place, actually. It can be in your eyes. Just by staring too much at that fretboard. Oh, fuck it. Oh, there's a note missing. Let's see. Here's that groove. Oh. There we go. Worry too much about hitting all the notes perfectly. I want to stay in groove and just play that lick. Just have fun. Ah, shit, man. Shit, man. Sometimes get faster in between while you're playing that lick. Doesn't matter. Ah, shit. Now my brain's kind of... Yeah, getting fast. Okay, now right here I would say, let's stop. Let me see what tempo that is. Oh, holy shit. Oh, holy shit. I'm at 200 BPM. Now I know those last takes, they were not clean enough for my standard. Not for where I want to get at, but I did play it at fucking 200 BPM. Now I think I could be proud of myself for at least making that happen. It didn't sound too shitty, I gotta say. I'm just gonna keep working. The point is, with this kind of practice, when we're not trying to struggle, as I said, to get to that tempo, we're just having fun with that practice, man. We're just having fun with that lick, and we're just gonna see what happens. And we don't want to know what tempo we're at. Just right at the end, that just when we're saying, okay, now I can't take it anymore. And sometimes it's not your technique. Sometimes you're just worn out. Like, how many times did I play that thing? At certain moments, I didn't even hit the right notes, and that's not my right hand. Like, that, obviously, then it was my left hand and just my brain or my concentration. It's all that plays a role. Okay, so last thing. Now that we reached that tempo, 200 BPM, what we could do is turn that metronome back on again. Like, let's say to 100. Let's go back a bit. Let's go back to 180 or 190 BPM. Because now psychologically we're like, okay, I just played it at 200 BPM. Yeah, I can do 180 BPM. So we're psychologically just tricking ourselves into having the belief in ourselves. Because in fact, we could play it. So we're going back to 100 BPM. I'm just going to make up a tempo right now. The next thing is, we're going to take that 100 BPM and do speed bursts. Speed burst means from that lick, that whatever we're practicing, we're going to stay with the, I'm going to stay with that Ingrid Malmsteen. The first 16th group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm going to do speed burst with that one. Or we could do it even smaller. The first 16, only the first 2 notes of the 16th, and and this one, the first 3 notes, Okay, so now what speed burst is about. I had to exchange the battery on my camera. What speed burst is about. We're gonna take one little group from that, like the first 3 notes, 2 16ths and an 8th maybe. And we're just gonna play it in 100 BPM, 180 BPM. Then we're gonna go 2 more. So we got the first 16th group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's say it like that. I'm gonna put on my headphones. So it's gonna be like I'm gonna try to get that a little bit cleaner than in the takes we had before. Next 16th group would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? Oh, right here. Like, I wonder how fast that is. That could be like 210 BPM actually. But it's relaxed. Now I'm gonna connect those 2. Keep it relaxed. Like, I'm not kidding. This could be 210 BPM. What's the next 16th group? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right here. And for some reason, then stuff like that happens. You're gonna have to go back to that and correct that. Okay. Because we got a slide happening. And see what's hidden in here? The first exercise. Because we're doing. It's not triplet 16ths, but mechanically it's the same thing that's happening from the very first exercise that I mentioned in this video. Remember that one? So, yeah, those are my exercises that I'm doing, and it's just stuff that I learned over the years about speed picking. As I said, I know I'm not at the end of the road with my speed picking. I'm going to work on it. I will in the future take on some economy picking, because I am starting to get interested in just, when I open up my Instagram feed, I see these amazing guitar players. I forget their names, but man, they play just dazzling stuff with economy picking, and I kind of like the sound. Like that's the biggest difference between economy picking and speed picking. Alternate picking is really not how fast you can go. I think you can go fast with both techniques, but the sound is completely different. So yeah, that's my thoughts on alternate picking, speed picking, and just building up exercises, what I use. Let me know what you think about this video, and what you do. What kind of advice do you have for building up speed? What's your experience? We also learn from failures, of course. Like that's what happens in music all the time. We try stuff, we play wrong notes, and then we learn from the wrong notes. We make mistakes, we try some approach that doesn't work. It's all valuable though, even though all those mistakes, put it in the comments below if you're having a hard time, or maybe you're one of those that's just blasting away on the guitar and doesn't have to practice at all. If that's the case, I envy you, but that's just the way it is. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.